Hello everyone and welcome back to Strike Zone with Manager George Tsamis. This week we joined the St. Paul Saints skipper in his office at CHS Field. We have a host of fun questions for this week. If you'd like to pose your own questions to the manager, please send them to askgeorge@minorleaguesportsreport.com. That's askgeorge@minorleaguesportsreport.com. This show is geared to give you, the fans, the opportunity to ask the St. Paul Saints skipper questions every week. So the more you ask, the better the show will be. We want to thank you for taking the time for joining us this week, and let's get right to the program. Okay, so welcome back, George, for this week. First, George, can we just get an injury update from some of the players that have been struggling this week, or have gone on the disabled list, or have been suffering through injuries for you?
Okay, obviously we've had some injuries this past week. We've had 4 of our starting position players get hurt. Mike Kwasnicka, we're going to activate him today. He felt better today, and obviously with all the injuries, we're short, but he wants to play today, so we're going to activate him, and hopefully he can go out there and be close to 100%. We are going to put Alonzo Harris on the disabled list. He hurt his ankle last night. It should be 2 to 3 weeks, which is good. Nothing's broken, but it'll be 2 to 3 weeks. Sam Moss, we're going to put him out there today and see. He's been battling that hand injury. And Willie Argo's still day to day. We're hoping any day now we can activate him, but we just don't know, and we're just trying to play it smart.
With such a small roster in comparison to the majors or affiliate ball, how do you try to work with those injuries?
It's tough with the 22-man roster. It's tough to do, and but you just try to do the best you can with it. And I wish they'd have a bigger roster, but they don't. It's 22 guys, and a guy gets hurt, you have to do the best you can to adjust to it.
I know some managers have talked to me about seeking an additional player. Is that something that's even being considered in the league?
I'm not sure. I know the first and last 10 days of the season is 23-man roster, and I think that's good. I wish they would just keep it all year long, but I'm really not sure the reason they don't. But to me, I think 23 guys is the way to go, because you can have 11 pitchers, which you need to have 11 pitchers, and 3 guys on the bench. But with 22, your choices are go with 10 pitchers and 3 guys on the bench, or 11 pitchers and 2 guys on the bench, and that's pretty dangerous to go with 10 pitchers. You know, your starter better pitch 6-7 innings every time, or you're going to be in big trouble.
Kathy from St. Paul would like to know, starting out so well, does it worry you kind of that what goes up goes down?
No, not really. You go out there to win every game, so if that's the problem, it's a good problem to have. We go out there, we're doing well so far, and we'll just keep going, take it one game at a time, and I'll worry about going down later. That's okay. We just want to go out there and play and just win as many games as we can.
You know, I'm kind of curious as the manager. I even hear talk now where people will say things like, if the St. Paul Saints just went 500 the rest of the season, does that kind of talk even irritate you to be around the organization?
Not really. I really don't pay attention to it. I really don't. People can say what they want, and I really don't follow it. I just worry about coming to the field every day, putting the lineup out there, and going out there to try to win games.
Mike from St. Paul wants to know, with Sioux City coming to town and them playing so well, how do you prepare for a team like that?
I'll tell you what, they're looking real good. They've been playing real well. They're 2 games behind us, I believe, overall record. So they've been doing just as good as we have, and we know their pitchers are good. They have some strong starting pitching, a real good bullpen, and their hitters, they have some speed over there. Those guys can run. They put the ball in play. They have some veteran players in the lineup. Their team's as good as anybody's in this league.
Trevor would like to know, are you feeling like injuries are the only thing that can stop you guys now?
Hey, injuries are part of the game, and every team has them. So we just happen to have them all at the same time, and but you get through them. But nobody cares if your guys are hurt. No, people just want to see you win, and we just got to get through these injuries, and hopefully we got a couple guys back today, and hopefully we can get the other guys back soon.
Gabriel from St. Paul would like to know, what are some areas that you'd like to see your team improve?
Always looking to improve. I know the middle of our order is doing good, and lately Alonzo Harris has been swinging the bat better. But before that, I think maybe the top of the order, and maybe even the bottom of the order, we hadn't been hitting enough. We weren't getting on base enough, but you're always looking to improve. Just day to day, it's like I said, it's a real good start. It's been a real good first month, but guess what? There's 3 months left. 2.5 months left, whatever it is.
Tyler from Chanhassen asked, it seems to him that there's more emphasis on carrying extra pitchers and not as much on position players. Why does it seem that the pitchers are valued higher than the hitters?
Again, we try to carry 11 pitchers active, and when you do that, you can only have 2 position players on the bench. It's it's tricky, but I think it's safer to have 11 pitchers, because if you carry 10, it's tough. If those starters get in trouble early, you got to go to the bullpen too much. And the thing is, we've had the luxury. Our starters have pitched good. They pitched 6, 7 innings, a bunch of the games there, and kind of saving those arms in the bullpen. So at this point, it's worked out so far that way.
Excellent. Back at Gabriel, who'd like to know if you think your team still has another level that they might be able to reach.
You know what? It's got to keep winning, and we need to get in the playoffs. Our job is to get in the playoffs, and our goal is to win a championship, and anything short of that is not good enough.
With the injuries you've been suffering and the need to carry additional position player or two, does that mean that you'll be using the disabled list a little more frequently to accommodate the need for an additional guy or two?
Sometimes we do that. We have done it this far. We have put a starting pitcher on the disabled list when he was not hurt, because you had an off day. You had the luxury of an off day. So there's times we've done that, trying to just get through these games, and it's just, again, it's tough with that 22-man roster. And like I said, Mike Kwasnicka was on the deal, and he was actually hurt, and now Alonzo Harris is on the deal, and he's actually hurt. But we have put a couple pitchers on the DL, and they have not been hurt at all.
What's the maximum amount of players you can have on the disabled list here?
You can have 2.
2. Okay. Steve from St. Paul noticed that in a recent game that the sun seemed to shine directly on the outfielders in the evening time. Does that make it harder to see for them, or is that something you noticed?
Yeah, in center field, right around that 7:30 time, it's tough to see. That sun is tough for the center fielder, but both teams got to play with it, and you hope you don't get burned by it, but it happens. Wear sunglasses, I don't know, shield the sun with your glove. I'm sure both teams are going to miss some because of the sun, but those are the breaks.
Absolutely. Amber from Champlin would like to know, what do you suggest are some good ways to build a good relationship with new teammates?
You always try to be honest with them. You guys want to ask questions, they can come in my office and ask me anything they want. I'll never lie to them. I'll always tell the truth. Some guys like to hear the truth, some guys don't, but we tell the truth, we don't lie to them. And again, maybe telling them the truth isn't a popular answer with them, but that's what we're going to do.
When you're a player and you come into a new organization, how did you try to blend into that organization itself?
When I was a player, I didn't say anything. I just kept my mouth shut, and when they told me to pitch, I pitched, and when I didn't, I would just do what I was told. And it's better not to be heard, especially if you're a rookie in the big leagues. You don't say anything. You just keep your mouth shut and go out there and do your job.
Dan from Gary says you have a great Michael Jordan story, and he'd like you to share it.
Yeah, it's a long story, so I'll make it quick. Back when he played back in 1994 with the White Sox in AA, I happened to be pitching for Jacksonville, the AA team for the Seattle Mariners, and there was a bench clearing brawl, and he was involved, I was involved, and there was a brawl, and he got a good punching on me, and it's a long story, but there was a brawl between us, and hey, got in a fight with Michael Jordan.
Not many people could say that.
That's right.
Let's see. Stan from Hopkins is wondering what managers talk about when they make trips to the mound, and is it always about baseball itself?
You know what? No, it's not. Sometimes you're just going out there to kill time to have the reliever in the bullpen get ready, or sometimes you're going out there to tell them, hey, just got to keep an eye on this. This guy can run. This guy can steal. You got to keep him close. So it's different things, but there are times you go out there just popping a joke, and it's not about baseball.
Don from Mankato would like to know what the ages are for the camp that you're about to run.
6 to 13, and we've been doing these camps for years, and we've had good turnouts, and we expect to have big turnouts again, and the kids seem to enjoy it. We have stations where we try to teach them, pitching, hitting, fielding, and then we end up playing a game like the last hour of the camp. So it's a good camp, and the kids really enjoy it.
Ken from Burnsville would like to know what's the most exciting part about baseball to you?
I just come to the field every day, and I watch games on TV, and I enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. Sometimes I know the game's a little slow and maybe boring here and there, but I like coming to the field every day and watching it, and I'm more for those high-scoring games. I think they're more exciting, and those are like the game last night. That was an exciting game, and we came back. We just couldn't pull it off.
That's kind of interesting that a former pitcher would like a high-scoring game more.
Yeah, well, No, as a pitcher, I didn't. As a pitcher, I wanted to go out there and throw a shutout. But you know, yeah, those. I'm more of a fan of those 7-5 games instead of those 2-1 games.
That's interesting.
More action.
For sure. Mike from Duluth would like to know if you prefer the pitcher batting or the designated hitter.
Absolutely not. Designated hitter for sure. To me, the pitcher hitting, and this is just my opinion, the pitcher hitting is a waste. And I think it should be a DH in every league.
That's interesting. A lot of managers see there's more strategy. I think.
Yeah, there is more strategy, but to me, having the pitcher go up there, I don't see the point in it. It's just they can't hit. You know, I know Bumgarner can hit, but I don't know. I prefer the DH. I think it's more exciting, anyways. But your point about the strategy being there's more strategy in the National League, yes, there is. But in my opinion, there should be a DH in every league. Isn't that the way it is in college, up in the minors, right? I think in the National League, the only place the pitcher hits, you know, I guess in the minors, if the National League teams are playing each other, they hit. But to me, it should be the DH.
It does make games, I think, a lot more exciting to have a DH than to have a guy come out and go for 4 virtually every time he's here. If you want to answer that quick, we can come back. How do you feel about such things as guys throwing at hitters when a guy stands around admiring his home run too long?
I don't like it at all. I think guy's a home run, and I'm not a fan of the guy standing there and showing the pitcher up either. I'm not a fan of that, but I'm not a fan of drilling the guy either. It just, you don't like him hitting a home run, you make a better pitch.
It seems, are these kind of unwritten rules something that you, when you were a player, you thought to yourself looked silly, or did you see the purpose in them? Or
I don't see a purpose in them at all. I don't understand what the point of showing up the pitcher is. I don't understand it. But some guys, it's just the way they are. It's all show. But again, the pitcher, I don't think the pitcher should, especially if you're drilling the next guy. I mean, it's not his fault that the guy before had a home run, but and the next time a guy comes up that did show you up, yeah, there's times they drill him, but I'm not a fan of it, and I really don't tell pitchers to throw at anybody.
Who are some of your favorite players that you've managed?
There's been so many of them. There've been a lot of them. Obviously, Caleb Theobald is maybe the best story. He came with us, pitched with us, and did well, and we got him signed with the Twins, and he pitched in the big leagues for a while. And Mark Hamburg is another guy that did real good for us, and he's in AAA now with the Twins, and he had a good big league camp. But there have been so many of them. It's just like Ole Sheldon played for me for a few years, and we liked having him with us, and so there are so many of them. I really don't know if I have a favorite, but there's a lot of guys I really like having.
With so many people suffering injuries that require Tommy John surgery, what are some recommendations that you would give to protect younger players from needing this kind of surgery?
I don't think the younger kids should be throwing curveballs, at least till they get in high school. I think they should just go out there and throw fastballs, changeups, and build that arm up, do a lot of long toss, but don't mess around with curveballs and sliders. Don't mess around with that.
I'm curious what you think about other kinds of pitchers. Like, I know, like Fernando Valenzuela pretty much destroyed his arm with a screwball. It was a great pitch for him, but it ended his career. Are those pitches that you say to yourself a guy should kind of avoid?
The younger kids, but if that was his pitch, that's what made him successful in the big leagues. And you know what? It made you successful, and I think that's you're at that level. You're in the big leagues. You throw what's good for you. And if that ended his career, I mean, I'm really not familiar with what ended his career, but if that was the pitch that did it, it was his money pitch, and you got to throw it.
Jack also would like to ask if you have recommendations for those who are recuperating for Tommy John surgery.
Listen to the doctor. Don't come back too early, and especially if you're younger. What's the point of coming back early? You got to make sure you're 100% healthy, and I don't know if it's 15 months, 18 months. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but don't come back too early.
Hector from Lakeville says that his son is a high school pitcher. He throws in the high 80s, and everyone is already telling him that he should give up his dream of playing professional baseball, I'm assuming, because they don't think that's fast enough. So he asked if you believe he should quit.
Okay. Oh, and I honestly wonder if this is a trick question. I really do wonder if this is a trick, because high 80s in high school, that's good. That's good. Keep throwing. No, you shouldn't quit. And once you get in college, maybe you'll get your 5 miles per hour faster. But throwing in the high 80s in high school, no, absolutely not. You should not quit. You should keep going.
Let's see. Do you have any tips for anyone who wants to get into better shape?
Just run. Don't listen to me, because I'm not in the best shape. So I'd be the wrong guy to ask.
And Dan also says that you have some interesting long bus ride stories he'd like you to share.
Well, the travel's tough. luckily we have DirecTV on the bus where we can watch games and stuff, and there's times over the years we've watched 24 been my favorite show over all the years, and we've watched pretty much every episode of that, and we've watched The Shield. We've watched so many different shows on the bus, but don't let anybody fool you. Travel's not fun. The longer it is, the worse it gets, and but I'm sure a lot of people would love to have our job and my job, the players' jobs, and not complaining about it at all. Just the travel isn't the best thing.
What did you do to occupy your time when you were a player?
You listen to your headphones, listen to music, because back then they wouldn't have TVs on the bus when I played.
Interesting. Okay, well, thank you, George.
No problem. Thank you.
We want to thank Manager George Tsamis for joining us here on Strike Zone this week. Next week, George will be joining us on the road from Fargo-Moorhead, where the club will be taking on the Red Hawks. If you would like to pose your own questions to the St. Paul Saints skipper, please email them to us at askgeorge@minorleaguesportsreport.com. Once again, that's askgeorge@minorleaguesportsreport.com. Please have your questions to us by Friday at noon. We like to give the St. Paul Saints skipper a couple of days to review questions before we record the show itself. With the Saints taking on Sioux City Explorers this week, there should probably be some really good questions based upon the battle that went on with these two titans of the American Association. So we know you'll want to join us next week to hear George's thoughts on that series. We thank you for taking the time to join us here on Strike Zone this week. My name is Rob Pannier, and I'm the managing editor of the Minor League Sports Report, and we look forward to seeing you here next week on Strike Zone.